see. Still need lawn service. Yeah, I do, brother. I'm gonna need some lawn service. Inbox me tonight. If you inbox me, I can kind of tell you what I got going on. All right. I appreciate you. Aria, what's up? Hey, Veronica, shalom. All right. Most High in Christ bless your body. So Um, what you think, Maya? What do you think?
Oh, I'm just trying to find a plug so I can plug the couch in and I just put.
You gonna let me use it?
Mhm.
You gonna let me use it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here goes some power
Is
here.
it? Oh,
You got a Bible on there?
um, yeah,
Hey, Davida. Hey, how you doing? Shalom.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So get that. Oh, I got it right here. Okay, guys. Go ahead and call it. 664-662.
That's your phone.
664-662.
Wait, what's your
Uh,
phone?
uh, 1081. Sometimes if you get it wrong, they do that. They just kick you out, hang you up, and stuff like that. Okay, guys. I'm coming. Right. Thank you. All right. So all praises. So first and foremost, Most High in Christ bless your body. All right. I can hear some of y'all in my head now. Most High in Christ bless you too. All right. So all praises to the Most High Israel for giving us a spirit to come here, fellowship, keep the commandments, learn what His will is, take time out throughout our day to stop what we're doing and get into the scriptures. So I'm very grateful for that. Okay. Washing, the wash. That's what the name of today's lesson is. We're gonna call it the wash. All right. Um, so let's open up in the book of Saint John, chapter 13. Saint John, chapter 13. So what is the wash about? The wash is about washing and being active and helping one another. Okay, helping one another through difficult times, through times where they might be going through something that you might see, um, and we're gonna learn that today. We'll get into the scriptures. We're gonna learn that today. Let me make sure that the volume is turned up. Okay, so when we read about Christ, on him washing the feet of the disciples, I'm going to go into the scriptures and show you what I believe he was really referring to and what he was talking about, even though he actually did a literal washing of their feet. Okay. So we're gonna start in St. John chapter 13. So it says, now before the feast of the Passover, I'm looking for some natural light. Yeah, let's try and turn it on. When Christ knew that his hour was come, that's good. It's perfect. So he knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of the world unto the Father. So that's heavy there. You know, he knew and understood that he was going to leave this world, and he had the faith that he would return back into the Most High, back into the Father. Having loved his own. All right, so first and foremost, remember we're gonna go into the washing. And going into the washing, what ended up happening, the scriptures say that he loved them. He loved his own. He loved his people. All right. And that was one of the reasons why he committed himself unto them in everything that he had done. You know, you guys that don't know me, excuse the bandage. To the heart of Judas Iscariot. It's knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God. He raised it up from supper, laid aside his being betrayed. Yeah, being betrayed, that's heavy. Having somebody to come against you, remember, it says he loved them. He loved Judas too. He loved them. And to get did like that. So what did Christ have his focus on? He had his focus on what he knew. He knew that the Most High had put everything in his hands, that he's good, and that he came from the Most High. All right? And he's going back to looking like somebody and threw that thing away, or somebody need to throw it away. I'm sure it was dirty. So he poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel where he was girded. Then coming he to Simon Peter. And Peter said unto him, Lord, doest thou wash my feet? So I'm sure that he was esteeming the Christ and doing that and saying, Lord, you don't have to do this. You're going to wash my feet? But the Lord answered and said unto him, what I do, thou knowest not. So that's very important. That's the whole reason why Christ was washing them, because there were many things that was going on that they didn't know. And that's why I said, what I'm doing now you don't know, right? But thou shalt know hereafter. So sooner or later, what you think gonna happen? You're gonna learn. And that's a part of what the washing is all about. Okay, it's about helping others to learn. So I want us to think about that, you know. Are you instrumental in helping somebody to learn? So we're gonna keep going because I don't want to jump too far ahead. Peter said unto him, thou shalt never wash my feet. See, so Peter was like, no, Lord, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I'll never let you do that. The Christ answered him, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. So what do we have to do in order to have part with Christ? What do we have to do in order to have part with Christ? Go to the book of Romans. Okay, right. Romans 8. And what is the part? About a week ago, we went over what that part was. It's part about the kingdom and all of that. So Romans chapter 8, and now verse 16. It says, actually, I'm going to start with verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So all of us were the sons and daughters of the Most High. Okay, let's start with that. Being led by God through the Spirit. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. So when you're in bondage, that means you're captive. So sin is not supposed to, we're not supposed to be captive to sin. We're not supposed to be in bondage when it comes to the things that we're doing that are wrong. They're not supposed to control us, right, Michelle? Thanks for joining. They're not supposed to control us. Okay. Now, and we're not supposed to be afraid to change. And we're not supposed to be afraid of what other people think about us changing. They actually supposed to see us evolve and they're supposed to see us change. The same way that you might be developing a new eating habit and now you got a glow about yourself. And now you trimming down a little bit. And now you're taking shape and you're taking form and you're looking healthy. People see that. Well, that's the same way, that's the outer. But they supposed to see your action and your behavior that you're not in bondage to bad behavior. All right? Bad behavior is not enslaving you. And we're not supposed to be afraid to have change in our life. All right? Then it says, but you have received the spirit of adoption. Adoption is when you've been incorporated in. The Lord has brought you into this truth. He has brought you into Christ. All right? So we should not be afraid to be received by the newness of life that we're living now. Because truth be told, guess what's happening? We're being washed. We're washed through the Spirit by Christ. All right? Now, Romans chapter 8, by verse 15, it says, whereby we cry, Abba Father. So we're calling out unto the Most High to help us through our transition and phase. All right? Now, verse 16, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit. So that means that God Himself, the Father, the Most High, is a witness to everything that we do, everything that we say, even our thought process. He is witness to our thought process, our behavior, and how we feel, how we carry ourselves, right? And it says, and He's concluded that we are the children of God because of what we do. Now, if we sin and we do things that we're not supposed to, then that makes us the children of the devil. But when we apply God's laws, His statutes and commandments, then we are God's children. Okay, and that's where all that favor come from. You from the Most High. That's where those blessings come from. You from the Most High. All right, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ. So here's the point that I came here from. Let's see. Where He told Peter that if I don't wash you, you have no part. And I went to say, well, what is the part? So now this is Romans chapter 8, and now verse 17. So now we joint heirs with Christ. If so be, the question was, what do we have to do to have our part with Christ? If so be that we suffer with Him. That's right. That we suffer with Him. So far, what is some of the sufferings that we know? I teach about Christ every week. I teach about Christ. So the last thing that we just learned in John 13 is that he was betrayed. And on top of the betrayal, he kept moving forward. And what did he do? He began to wash the feet of those that was with him because he loved them and he cared about them. He kept his mind on the prize. He understood that the Most High put everything into his hands, that he came from the Father and that he goes to the Father. He goes to the Father. He take every situation up unto the Most High. And he was still able to do his job. He was still able to do that. That's something that we've got to learn about Christ. That's something that we've got to learn for ourselves. What's up, Judah? All right. We got to learn for ourselves. Daughter of Zion, hey, Shalom. All right. Now, it says, if so be that we suffer with him. So we got to war through these things. We got to fight through whatever the day to day take us through. We got to go through that. It says that we may be what? Glorified together, that we may look like him. That's the glorifying right here. You guys like this? You guys subscribe. Let's build. All right. Okay. Share the lesson as well, that we may be glorified. If the Lord is talking about glorifying us with Christ, he's trying to talk about that we're to look like Christ. Our behavior is to look like Christ, like you to look like you follow the Messiah. All right. You're not supposed to look like you are the next up and coming hip hop, this, that, and the third. No. Don't be known for something carnal and something weird. Be known for something righteous according to what the scriptures is saying. All right. So let's lose that in Romans. So that I just had to get that so that we can understand what that part was. And how do we make sure that we have our part with Christ? Then that means that we have to go through the sufferings that we have to go through, being the Christ-like person. What's up, Elwood? Being the Christ-like person. Okay? We can't just love in word, but not in deed. We have to love word and deed. Okay? Now, let's go back to St. John chapter 13. So remember, so after the Christ told him that if he don't wash them, that you don't have no part with me, in verse 9, Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. So from head to toe. Right. Yeah, from head to toe. Peter acknowledged, wash me from head to toe. All right. The Lord said unto him, he that is washed needed not, save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit, and ye are clean, but not all. So when he's looking around, he knows that not everybody. For he knew who should betray him. So he knew who he was talking about. All right. Now, do you think that Christ had washed the feet of Judas? How many of y'all think that Christ washed the feet of Judas? Huh? What y'all think? I think so. Let me read something else to you as well that I think. Go to the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 119. In verse 9. It says, wherewithal shall a young man be washed? Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? So I'll ask us again. Hey, Shalom, Mia. What's up, DJ D? Do you guys think that Christ washed the feet of Judas Iscariot? I believe so. Not only did he physically wash his feet while saying that, making that statement, and although Christ made that statement and it slid right off Judas, and Judas pretended like he didn't hear it, and Judas pretended like it wasn't talking to him, he still understood because he knew deep down inside what he was doing. But did Christ wash him? Yes, he did. What was the issue? He wasn't hearing it. It says, by taking heed thereto according to thy word. So what did Christ do to Judas? I'm sure he corrected him. I'm sure he taught him. I'm sure he tried to show him a different way. But guess what? When you close your eyes and you cover your ears, what's going to get through that? Nothing. Nothing is going to get through that. Because that's a choice and a decision that you make. That's what the washing is about. So while symbolically he sat down and washed their feet to show them. That's why he said, you don't understand what I'm doing now, but hereafter you will. And it goes, it's gonna thicken up like sauce in a pan, so you can understand. So I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna make the statement again, in case some of us are multitasking and we're missing it. Did Christ wash the feet of Judas Iscariot? I believe so. Yes. Way before he brought the similitude out, the example, way before that. He was right there. He's the Lord. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way, be washed, be cleansed by taking heed. Judas didn't listen. Thought he was right. He thought he was right. A lot of people think they're right, and they be wrong because they don't listen. The washing is there. Let's go back. So St. John chapter 13 and verse 12. So after he had washed our feet, this is getting down with the soap and water and the towel, right? And had taken his garments and was sat down again. Now he began to sit down after he did that, right? And he said unto them, know ye what I have done to you? So now he's asking them a question. Of course they don't know. No, they don't know. But you guys should know because I'm literally telling you. And if we was there at that time, we wouldn't have known either. We would have just been like, Lord, you washing our feet. You kind. Shoot, you trying to show us to don't be tripping off dirty feet and to be kind to each other. But it's more spiritual than that. It's deeper than that. The washing of the feet is on a total nother level, man. It's real love. It involves a multitude of things. He said, you call me master and Lord. You say, well, for I am so. For so am I. If I then be Lord and master have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. Let me give us a similitude of something that we use from time to time. We say, scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Does that literally mean that my back is itching? No. Scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. What does that mean, saints? That means help me when I need help. And I'm going to be there to help you when you need help. Most of the help that we be needing, I know this is a spiritual platform. So you may think that I'm referring to the spirituality of life. But let's go the scratch in the back. Let's go carnal. Be there for me, and I'm gonna need to be there for you. Like, hey, my car is down. Take me to work. Hey, I need a ride. Pick me up. It's gonna take too long for me to get home. I'm way out somewhere. Scratch my back. Do me a solid. And and when you need me, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna scratch your back. I'm gonna see that you need help, and I won't turn you down. I'm gonna be there for you. That's what scratching the back is, man. It's not nobody's literally itching back there. So Christ said, "Ye ought to wash one another's feet. I have given you an example that ye should do. Have I done? Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. The servant is not greater than his Lord." So if Christ is saying that if he can humble himself to do it, then we can humble ourselves to do it. Neither is he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. So meaning that if you understand, then guess what? Happy are you if you do them. So let's get some examples of this washing. First, let's go to Matthew 5. See if we can put it together. I don't think she here. Matthew chapter 5. And verse, let me see. Bear with me. Okay. Matthew 5 and verse 1. I be trying to help us to fully understand as we read the scriptures, because it's the understanding of the scriptures that you need to make your journey as you walk through life. So it says, and seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. Now he's finna do what I'm explaining to you about washing, because he's making them to be like him. He opened his mouth and taught them. You see, he taught them. That's what washing is. A lot of times, I don't know if you've been thinking that washing is only limited to reproof, correction, telling somebody you're wrong. Mm-mm. No, no, not just that. Washing is teaching. So he taught them, saying, blessed are the poor in spirit. So he's teaching them how to look at the people that's poor in spirit. Because we could look at somebody that's poor in spirit and not be compassionate. Be compassionate. Person don't have a lot of spirit. If you lack wisdom, you don't have a lot of spirit. If you lack wisdom, then you might be sinning. You lack wisdom, you might be breaking the commandments. You lack wisdom, you don't understand. You lack wisdom, you're not strong. You lack what you're poor in spirit. When you're done, the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. The kingdom of heaven, but it says for theirs is the kingdom. So then teach them like I'm teaching you. Remember, wash their feet like I'm washing your feet. Because you know what? Each and every last one of those disciples were between a rock and a hard spot before. They were in this sin and that sin. They didn't understand this and they didn't understand that. And he had to teach them. He taught them. That's washing. So when we deal with one another, we got to do more than just spit precepts at them or think about them. We've got to be infused in one another's life. Hey, that's a process. That's a process that has to happen now. And that's between you and your walk. What you gonna do with yourself? That's what this is. What you gonna do with yourself? You gonna assert yourself? And be a people's person, a countryman, somebody that's about your country, or a country woman, a woman that loves her. You love your life in Christ. You love the fellowship. You love the sisterhood. Blessed are they that mourn, they shall be comforted. You're going to see people sad. Go back to Romans. Romans chapter 10. You ever saw somebody in mourning and you talk to them? You ever saw a complete stranger? A complete stranger. And you said something to them. Do it all the time. That's just me. That note concerning a complete stranger. Jump over to verse 47, verse 46. So if you think I'm tripping. Matthew 5:46. If you love them which love you, when are you loving on somebody? We're talking about mourning. Oh, this person is mourning, this person is sad. You go to comfort them. You go to console them. You go to ask them what's going on, what's wrong, etc., etc., right? What reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? Publicans, politicians, we know them today as businessmen. How many businessmen do you see typically just walking up and down in neighborhoods and this, that, and the third? They in corporate America. They doing them things. They doing their thing. They go to corporate places. They don't go to the same restaurants that you go to, the same, well, I was going to say bars, but we shouldn't be going to bars. It's a little different. They do the same. They only mess with their like kind and quality. The scripture says every kind cleaveth to his like. So yeah, the publicans do the same. And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? So now let's go back over to the other one. We won't get it all. I'm just getting that he was teaching them about this. He was washing them, giving them a different perspective so that they can understand. So I asked the question, have you ever comforted a stranger that was mourning? Somebody that you didn't know. They going through something. You bring comfort to them. Yeah, I have. Sometimes they accept it, sometimes they don't. But it says they shall be comforted. So I wanted Romans, right? I wanted Romans chapter 10. Romans chapter 10 and verse 14. Remember, they to be comforted. How then shall they call upon him in whom they have not believed? And how should they believe in him of whom they have not heard? So if you're not talking, how are they going to be comforted? And how should they hear without a preacher? So what is Christ teaching them to do? We call him Yahushua by his Hebrew name. The world calls him Jesus Christ. What is Christ teaching the disciples? What is he washing them about? About when you see someone in mourning, that you have a civil duty to cleanse them, to try and comfort them. That's your civil duty, man. You guys got to believe that. We'll have a better society, a better nation. You have a better environment. You have a better household. That's right. You have a better household. Don't be so geared up and directional struck like you don't have time for that. Make time. There's times I'll be in the middle of anything. And someone is in mourning. Okay, I gotta put aside what it is I'm doing to wash them, to help them understand and process that moment that they're going through certain things. To them, that's priceless. To us, it came at a cost. But guess what? That's the submissiveness to the Most High and to our people, where we are easy to be imposed on. Easy to be imposed on. All right? Verse 15, Romans 10:15. And how shall they preach except they be sent, as it is written? How beautiful of the feet are the feet of them that do what? Preach the gospel of peace. So from mourning to peace. When you help somebody, it does make a difference to them. They feel a difference. You let them know it's going to be okay. You let them know you're along the way. You do let them know the ordinances of the Most High and what they should choose versus maybe what they chose or what's going on or how it went wrong. You be optimistic. You be the voice of reason. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. So they look at you that this is a beautiful thing because you're there. You're there helping them. You're there consoling them. You're there comforting them. And guess what? You let them know that you care. You see somebody in the morning and you don't say nothing, it has the appearance that you don't care. And this is what Christ was washing them from. Walking past their people. And bring good tidings and bring glad tidings. Bring glad tidings of good things. Man, doesn't this should fill us up? This should encourage us. What happens when it's us that need that type of help, that need that type of comfort? Do you acknowledge and recognize when nobody is there? When somebody is not doing their job? Of course, you recognize that they're not doing their job. And you wish they would. All right? Let's go to the book of St. John. Go back to St. John. Chapter 18, verse 20. T. Neal. St. John chapter 18 and verse 19. The high priest then asked Christ of his disciples. So they're asking him about his disciples and of his doctrine. Christ answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue. What does ever mean? He said he always taught in the synagogue. That's what made me say, did he cleanse? Was he washing Judas? Yeah. Judas was making a choice to go back and get dirty. He said, I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort. So where Israel always was. And in secret have I said nothing. In secret have I said nothing. Why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I said. So from there, go to the book of Ephesians. Right? Ephesians chapter 5. So remember, we're coming here from John, where Christ said that he always taught in the synagogue and in the temples where Israel resorted, right? Why? So verse 25, and I'm gonna start where it says Christ loved the church. He loved where he taught, right? All right. So Ephesians chapter 5 and 25. Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. That means he sacrificed himself to be the ultimate example. That he might do what? Sanctify it, meaning separate it, and cleanse it with the washing. See, here it is again, with the washing. So when we started off, Christ was washing feet. But what did it really mean? Christ was really trying to teach them. True love one for another and the application of the scriptures. And those that had success in applying the scriptures, then what was their job? Let me show you about those of you that have success. Let's see. Luke 22. The book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 31. The Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. So Christ could see certain things, and he saw that Satan wanted to destroy Peter. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. Why did he say that? Because the things that Peter would be going through would be warned against his faith. And if his faith fails, then he'd give in to Satan. He'd stop fighting. He said, I've prayed that your faith fail now. Right? Now, and when thou art converted, see that? At the same time, what is Christ doing in the life of Simon Peter? He's teaching them. He's teaching everybody. He loved them. That's his friend. He's teaching them. So he's got to fight Satan. He's going through certain things. His faith is under attack. He's at war. When he understands and it comes to a change, because when you convert, it's like a decimal to a fraction, fractions to a whole number. All right. When you convert, when you change, then when you have learned, when you understand, when you're washed, when you get it, do what? Strengthen Strengthen, wash, cleanse, teach, edify. Let them know, let them see your brethren, the brethren. Don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on. Pass the example on. Pass the understanding on. Do for you what I've done for you, is what Christ is saying. Because he taught him. He helped him see certain things. He showed him things. He was there. And also, what was one of the things that he did for him? What was one of the things that he did for Peter? He prayed for him. That's right. He prayed for him. He prayed for him. He taught him. He showed him. He helped him. He washed him. He made it make sense. He helped it make sense to him. That's how you wash. That's the washing of the feet, brothers and sisters. All right? I still want Ephesians 5. Go to the book of James. James chapter 2. James chapter 2:15. It says, if a brother or sister be naked, if a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, you know what naked is? It's not the clothing. No, it's not this. It's not the clothing. It's the lacking of understanding and application. Then it says, and destitute. Destitute. Here it says, meaning lacking money, food, a home, and the basic things you need to live. So when it's talking about spirituality, they just lacking on all cylinders. They destitute. If a brother or sister be destitute of daily food, like what they should be doing from day to day, how to have success, you can most likely listen to a person. And when they begin to talk, they're going to tell you what they're doing. You're like, oh man, that's wrong. You made that mistake, and you're going to make the next mistake. Oh, and you're disgruntled, and and you feel like that, and you think like this, or your way of thinking and your way of doing things. How could you possibly have some type of success? That's destitute. They really lack a lot of understanding. It says it can also mean completely missing a specific quality or feature. They're destitute. Then it says, verse 16. So this is James chapter 2:16. And one of you say unto them, depart in peace. Be warmed and filled. You're going to be okay. Oh, I'll talk to you later. Hey, shalom, shalom. I'll see you later. Notwithstanding, you give them not those things which are needful for the body or for their spirit. Did you wash them? Did you help them? Are they going to be they're going to be okay? No, they're not going to be okay. What do it profit? It doesn't profit them at all. And it's not even good for us to do that. We wouldn't want somebody to do that to us. Some people might. Some people might just want to be left alone. I'm going to work it out. No, you're not going to work it out. You know what's going to happen? You might calm yourself down, but you still have that destitute spirit that doesn't know how to solve problems. And that's an issue right there. You can't be successful like that. You're going to end up where you at before, and that's not where you want to be. Go back to Ephesians 5. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5. Remember how in 25 Christ loved the church that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, right? Verse 27, so he's talking about Israel, that he might present it to himself a glorious church. So Christ was all about, remember, we're suffering with him, we're being glorified. What is glorified? Our changing. How does change happen? Washing, teaching, being taught, being infused in one another's life, being a partaker of the things that we go through one with another. That's what a real friend is. A real friend don't sit back and let you suffer, let you fight the devil by yourself. That's not a friend right there. How they pronounce it, frenemy? That's not a friend. We're not even do that in marriage, right? We're not even do that in marriage. In marriage, you go through certain things, and you let your wife be good. You let her fight Satan. You let her fight Satan on her own. She's going through something. Maybe she's going through something with you or about you and over you and through you and in you and whatever. And that's what you do. You leave her to fight that. But she's getting experience in fighting, and she's getting to know Satan. Yeah, she's getting to know Satan. And why is you not, don't even go do that with your husbands? Let your husbands, you know what I'm saying? Let them fight Satan. You have to beat her. It happens. And if you don't change it, then it's going to backfire on you. Yeah, that situation will backfire on you in marriage. It won't turn out to be like you want it to be, whether you understand you're in marriage or you in a relationship. Some people say, oh, it's complicated. What made it complicated? A situation. What is the situation? You left him to fight Satan instead of being there. Let me address that very quickly. Let's go back to Ephesians 5. We're already in Ephesians 5. So I'm going to address this with the man, and then I'm going to address that with the woman, and then we're going to move forward. So the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. Right? He did it so that he can cleanse it. Right. So that he can cleanse it. Right. Jump down to verse 28. So are men to love their wives. You to cleanse her. You to wash her feet. You to wash her. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16. Wash you, make you clean. You see? So when it comes to a man and as a woman, what does washing and make you clean mean? Baby, let's get back to normal. This is not normal. You don't talk, you don't sound right. You don't look right. You're not feeling right. Your countenance is not right. You're not moving right. So it's our job as a man to wash her and make her clean, because guess what's there? Go to the book of Genesis. And I'm gonna come back to we're gonna come back to Isaiah. Go to the book of Genesis. Chapter 4. And verse 7. If thou doest well, shall not thou be accepted. So this is Genesis chapter 4 and 7. And if thou doest not well, then sin lied at the door. So if things are not well, what's going to be right there at the door? Sin. Well, who's the minister of sin? Satan. So is that something that we would want to do, that we would want to leave our wife in sin? No. Leave our wife entertaining Satan? No. No. Because Satan is against you. Why do you think her countenance is against you? Her attitude is against you. Her words are against you. Her behavior is against you. Everything is against you. Who is she listening to? She's not listening to you. You left her with an attitude. You left her disgruntled. She might even be deceived by not even calling it sin. She's going to point the finger at you. That's why you need to cleanse that, and you need to show her the difference. Show her that you're not the enemy that the adversary is telling her in her mind that you are. And it's your job to show her that this is not that. With everything that lies within you, that's your job, to sanctify, separate, and cleanse by the washing using the word. That's your job. You got to do that first. A lot of times we be amped to want to teach brothers. We be amped to want to teach sisters. We be amped to want to go into brothers. I used to hear a lot of young brothers, oh, yeah, we're in the highways and the byways. But you're not on the same page where you lay your head at. You're not on the same page where you lay your head at. So, in that, you have to be washed. The scripture says when it's time when you ought to be teaching, you have one need that teach you again. And you can get it right. There's a lot of people getting it wrong, getting all this wrong. You can get it right. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. What does that mean? Unto you shall be his desire. That's self-explanatory. Unto you shall be his desire, meaning he's gonna desire you. Who is the he? Satan, the author of sin. But the latter part, thou shalt rule over him. How you gonna rule over Satan? How you gonna rule over Satan? What does that mean? TikTok, what does that mean? I know it's some Hebrews out there. YouTube, what does that mean? Facebook, what does that mean? You're gonna rule over him. And thou shalt rule over him. What does that mean? What does that mean? Turn back to Genesis 3:16. I'm gonna help us. The book of Genesis, chapter 3. Is it Genesis 3? What is this? 16, yeah. Genesis 3:16. Nobody got no answers, huh? Y'all quiet? A quiet storm? Come on, fam. Unto the woman, he said. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. So the Most High God is telling this to Eve, right? And thy desire shall be to thy husband. So you're going to desire your desire. So the Most High is trying to show her your desire. You must desire your husband. But then the next part says what? And he shall rule over thee. So that's self-explanatory. He gonna be telling you what to do. He gonna rule over you. So you can understand. So now when we get back to Satan, go back to Genesis 4:7. You ruling over him. What is that? What does a man ruling his wife do? He tells her what to do. And what else? How else does he feel? He's protective. Because he rules, right? At least we like to think we do, right? Until you ladies get mad. And then y'all don't want to listen. We was in charge all the time when you was good. But come to the point to where you disagree and you don't want to hear nothing, then boop, rulership go out the door. It ain't supposed to. I'm bringing it on back in. I'm still here. I still got to say so. Listen to me, right? So then you're going to be telling Satan. In your mind, you think you're ruling. You're going to be telling Satan what you want to do. And also, you're going to be protecting him. Because that's what men do. They rule over their woman and they protect their woman. They rule over their woman. They tell them this is what it is and this is what we're going to do, and then they be protected. So if you let Satan into your life, he going to have a desire for you. And you're going to be telling him what you want to do. And he going to be feeding you with everything that you want to do. And you're going to be very protective of Satan. So that's not what you want. All right? Now, so men try and alleviate that. Brothers, we have to alleviate that with the washing. Okay? So now, as far as sisters, go to the book of Sirach, the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, girl, with me. Ecclesiastes chapter 36. Verse 21. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 36. Verse 21. A woman will receive every man. Yet is one daughter better than another. So let's deal with the second part. Being the type of person that's better. So sisters, it's going to go into you what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to help to avoid your husband, your significant other, I use that terminology in case people be like, oh, it's complicated. You know, you don't really see the scriptures yet. It ain't opened up to you. What does it mean to be better than another? Well, in all phases across the board, we as men, we'll know a situation where, like, okay, I wouldn't talk to my woman like that. I wouldn't do my woman like that. All right. And so, sisters, I'm sure you might know of some things or heard some things or experienced or seen somewhere you like, okay, you wouldn't disrespect your man like that. You wouldn't do your man like that. So be better than another. All right. It says the beauty of a woman. This ain't the appearance. This is behavior. Now there's nothing wrong with a woman having features, but the beauty is talking about the behavior to where this woman has the ability to want the environment that she live in and that she's in to be everything that a person can want. That's something that you got to create. You don't sit there and pluck it and destroy it, talking about you want a better environment. The scripture says a foolish woman tear it down, pluck it down her house. I want a better environment. People want a house that's nice, but they don't clean their house. They don't repair it. They don't do this. They don't do that. But they want something nice. You got to put in order to get out. You got to sow in order to reap. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, so there's a circumstance situation. As a woman, you got to come out the spirit of kindness. This is how you wash him. Men, we have to fight Satan too. Remember, Satan desired to have Peter. What about James and Daniel and Thomas and Philip, Larry and Harry, and Anthony and Charles? What about all these guys? Satan desired to have them too. Satan desired to have everybody, even me. Satan desired to have everybody. All right? How can you as a woman help? Kindness, having a conversation, understanding, washing, meekness. 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 Meekness is the quality of being quiet, gentle, humble. In everyday language, it means being submissive, unassertive. In a spiritual and traditional sense, it means having strength under control. Booyah. Having strength under control. Having a message under control. Being able to exhort and bring confidence and pour into your man, and you under control. You're not degrading. You're not loud. You're not clamorous. Choosing patience and gentleness instead of anger or pride. Everyday meaning, being quiet, speaking softly and not trying to draw attention. Being gentle, treating others with care and kindness. Giving in, letting others win or take the lead without a fight. Being defrauded. Enduring hard times, accepting tough situations without complaining. Biblical and deep meaning, we're talking about meekness. These are qualities that sisters that you can assert while you're washing, while you're trying to cleanse, while you're trying to help your husband, your significant other, the person in your life. Remember, everybody don't understand the scriptures. Everybody ain't saying what we're saying. So they're growing to evolve to get that way. And they're going to call it something different. But the person that you love and care about. Strength under control, having power or ability, but choosing not to use it to hurt others. Meekness, having power or ability, but choosing not to use it to hurt others. So if you're hurting somebody, then that's not meek. Deep humility, thinking less of your own importance and trusting a higher plan. Okay. Let me move on. Back to Ecclesiastes 36, right? Sisters, how do you wash your man? 36:23. With kindness. Talking to him. Hey, sometimes some man you could tell he's jacked up. Yeah, you could tell he's displaced. You could tell he's uncomfortable. Ain't you listening? Do you not see him? Countenance show change of the heart. You can't see something is going on. You can't see that. If you're not seeing that, then you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking at something else when you need to be looking at your man. Kindness, meekness, and comfort. That's right, comfort. Because when you come and you bring in comfort, lips gonna loosen up. He gonna talk to you. Tell him, you ask him, baby, what's going on? What's going on? Why are you feeling like that? Why are you thinking like what's going on? And you say, no, don't look at it like that. Look at it like this. Do this and do that. God got you. You pour into him. He's your head, but at the same time, at this point now, he needs help. He needs help. He's fighting. Who is he fighting? You know, the one that Christ had to fight? You know, the one that all his friends had to fight? That's why he had to wash them. He had to teach them, when you see these things, this is what you do. This is how you do it. He had to teach them that. They didn't just know that on their own. They were walking around, walking past each other. But remember, in order to be like this, you're going to have to be different from the next woman. Because all women doesn't possess this. Yeah. Everybody doesn't possess this. Kindness, meekness, comfort. A comfort. Sisters, comfort your husband. In her tongue, conversation. Language. Words that she use. And then about her. Don't make it about you. On what he going through and how it affects you. What? It's him. It's his turn to be pulled from the pit of hell, from Satan's chamber, pulled out of the fire. Pulled. It's his time. It's his cup to be filled in. It's about him. The scriptures say, let us please him and not ourselves. In that perspective. That's Romans 15. Then it says, if you got that in your mouth, if you can speak that, you the deal. Straight up. That's what's up. That's a fire woman. Okay? That's a fire woman. So you young sisters out here, please learn this right here. You want your relationship, your marriage to be on fire? Learn what the Most High said as a woman you're supposed to be. And be able to wash him like he washed you. Sometimes it be a one way all the time. And I don't know, sometimes it's aggressive. You know, he's correcting you, he's teaching you, He wait till a problem spring up. Now he want to tell you wrong. This, that, and the third. Well, this is, this is kind of doing something with that too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe don't do it so aggressively, but do it the same way, because these are qualities that you should display and teach her. All right. So Dan is her husband. Dan is not her husband like other men. Dan is not her husband like other men might be what? Discouraged. Other men might be fractured, broken. There are precepts that talk about broken men. You don't, as a woman, you don't let your man go through this. You don't leave your man broken. Crap has hit the fan in the marriage. Crap has hit the fan. And it's just like that. No. He's supposed to be Superman. You're supposed to always keep him full. And she's supposed to be Superwoman. You know what I'm saying? And you always keep her. This is what we do to each other. This is washing right here. All right, so let's go back to Isaiah 1. That's where we left off at. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1. Isaiah 1:16, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. So when we're going to cleanse and wash somebody, we're going to teach them to do the opposite of the wrongs that they're doing. How? Through a conversation. Not being offended, but through a conversation that we have. All right? Learn to do well. That means we're going to teach them to do well. Teach them to do better than that they're doing. How? By explaining to them. This is how you do it. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. This is what you don't do. This is what you do. This is how you look at that. This is how you think. This is what's expected. And you can tell a brother or a sister what's expected from them without you being spiritually destructive. Go to the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 27. In verse 14, it says, he that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. I read it again. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice. Like, for instance, you say, oh man, I'm gonna wash you. I'm helping you. Brother to brother, sister to sister. I'm helping you. But what's going on? Here it says a loud voice. It means you're strong. You're adamant. You're forceful. Is we're going to wash and make clean something? No. What you're doing is counted a curse. So you don't want to take that type of approach when you dealing with your people, when you're trying to help them. You don't want to take that approach. And sometimes we wonder why. Like, why you counted a curse? Why you counted negative? Why I don't get credit? Why this, that, and the third? Go to James. Go to the book of James. James chapter 3. Let's see. Wait a second. No. It's James 1. Yeah. James 1, not 3. Sorry. James 1 and 17. Like, why is it a curse? Okay. James 1:16. Do not err, my beloved brother. Every gift, meaning don't make no mistake. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. So this is different from where what you was doing it didn't get credit. It got counted as a curse. All right. It says, and coming down from the Father. So it is of lights. Light is bing, the light bulb go off. Oh, I see it. Oh, she sees it. He sees it. They sees it. They understand, right? Okay. But then it says, of whom is no variableness. With you, saint, it might be a variableness. Look it up so you can understand. Therefore, it's counted a curse and not credit. You don't get credit. Hold on. Oh, it's not going to say it. I'm going to read it though. Pay attention. It says, variableness is a noun that means the quality or state of being variable, changeable, or unstable. So when we deal with each other, you're trying to wash, you're trying to cleanse, you're trying to help. What do they see? They see a change. What should not they see? They shouldn't see you change. Remember, if you starting off as being loud, being forceful, being maybe overbearing and stern, maybe being a lion, that's going to be counted as a curse to you. And you get no credit for it, even though you bring it down. And guess what? We've all done it before. But we weren't successful like we think we're successful. We got tolerated, but you didn't do the job. Because you know what? In order to really do this, you got to put your heart in it. Your heart in it. You got to want you. Let me find the precept to express it. All right. Romans 12. Romans 12. People can tell the difference. You're cleaning them. Romans 12 in verse 9. Romans 12 and 9. It says, let love be without dissimulation. What is love? Your washing. Your washing. Your cleansing. Dissimulation. Dissimulation is the act of hiding your real feelings. Because remember, from the Most High, there ain't no variableness. There was no change. There was nothing. There's no unstableness. But you got to genuinely feel to aid, to help, to wash, to cleanse. That's how Christ was. Christ didn't change up. He didn't have to hide real feelings after he was going off. And I'm cleansing you. I'm helping you. I'm this, I'm that. I'm so and so. No, it says in many situations, I think this type of behavior gets displayed. It says the act of hiding your real feelings, thoughts, or character or intentions behind false appearance. It can't be like that. It says it is a form of deception or hypocrisy where you pretend to be someone who you are not, or like everything is fine while secretly planning or feeling differently. You can't be like that. So even though, let's say that you're not like that, but the fact of the variableness or the change or the temper, it displayed this. It displayed this. And it's going to be hard to persuade somebody that this is not real. So let's go back to where we were. Let's see, it's precept. Romans 12. Then it says, abhor that which is evil and cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. In honor, prefer one another. So when we deal one with another, you got to be after the cause, man. The cause is let me cleanse. You don't go to wash dishes and you all pissed off at the dishes. You know what I'm saying? At least you shouldn't be. If you are, something's wrong with you mentally. But you know, when you go to wash your car and you tripping out because there's so much dirt and mud everywhere, brake dust all in the wheels. No, you get the proper cleaning tools to take care of all of those things, right? So when you go to cleanse and wash your brother or sister, you after the cause. So that your work that's being done is not counted or cursed. That's all I'm trying to say. All right. Now, so let's go back to James. James chapter 1. James chapter 1, the latter part of 17, neither shadow will turn it. To be one way, one dimensional. That's how we got to get there. We got to get to that. to where there is words fitly spoken. And that's the only thing that's coming out of us. Unlike in the 3rd chapter, where he ended up saying, go to chapter 3 and verse 10. Or verse 8, the tongue can no man tame. It is unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith we bless God the Father, wherewith we curse, and therewith we curse men, which are made after the similitude of God. So the man is just like the Most High. He's created after the similitude and the image of the Most High. And the Most High's spirit and breath is in him. And we curse him and mistreat him, but we bless the Most High. We can't be like that. Out of the same mouth proceed blessings and cursings. Honor towards the Most High, but verbalness towards the brother or wife, your wife or wife towards your husband. It says, my brother, these are not to be so. See that? It ain't supposed to be like that. And if we're going through this and we're doing this, we have to be converted. Like Peter had to be converted. We have to be washed. We have to be cleansed of that. We have to see that and not go through that, not do that. See, the longer you're in the truth and the more you're in the truth, is more the Most High going to reveal and show you that this is what you have to do. This is what you need to do. Okay? So, let's go back to James 1. So, the latter part 17, neither shadow of turning. What that mean? That means one way. That means we got to learn, we got to get on track, and we don't jump the track. We got to do what we're supposed to do. And guess what, man? We have to stay there. We have to remain a lover of the brothers, lover of the sisters, love your wives, husbands, wives, love your husbands, etc., etc. And learn how to really wash one another and cleanse one another. Know and see what our infirmities are, and pray and deal with those infirmities through blessing and praying and talking and conversation and fixing and helping. Okay? So now, now verse 18, of his own will begat he us with what? With the word. So we ought to use the word. And read that part again. So this is what the Lord, the Most High, chose. Of his own will. So he wanted to do that. Like this is something that we should choose and something that we should want to do. He begot us that we should be kind of what? First fruits of his creature. So that's how we to take approach, like first in our houses and then with our extended families, one another that we fellowship with, because we're looking to cast our line out even beyond, where we at. So we deal with where we at to be the first fruits of what the Most High begot us, what he showed us, what he taught us, what he cleansed and washed us from. All right. Then it says, and because of this, and wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be what? Swift to hear. So this is all talking about dealing with when we're washing, because you're listening now. Swift to hear and slow to speak. All right? And slow to wrath. For wrath work not the righteousness of God. What is the righteousness of God? Cleansing, purifying. That's the righteousness of the Most High that he's referring to. So now it says, wherefore lay aside all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. Listen to the definition. Superfluity. It says superfluity is a noun that means having too much of something. Too much of what? You. Too much of us. An amount that goes beyond what is needed or wanted. What are we going to do with that? That's behavior. Because if it's too much, are you cleansing? Are you smiting? Are you destroying? You're not cleansing. It's too much. It's your way. You can tell, is the person cleansed, or are they fighting back and putting up resistance to you? That means that we're naughty, if that's what's happening. It says it may be. And receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Not their souls, your soul. Because here it teaches us not to be wrathful. Be slow to speak, be swift to hear, slow to wrath. Because that is not going to work the righteousness of the Most High. What are we reading? The scriptures. What are the scriptures teaching us? Behavior, on washing one another. In order to do that, we've got to be cleansed. We got to be cleansed. This is heavy. Let's see, we need to finish the Isaiah 1. Psalms 51. This is David, Psalms 51 and 2. He said, wash me completely or thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. In order for that to happen, David has to have somebody in his life talking to him and dealing with him. Because at this point, he sees what's going on in his life. Let's go back. I'm going to finish Ephesians, and then that's it, guys. We're into the sin. All right. We was in Ephesians chapter 5. And 26, that he might sanctify. So Christ did this for the church. Sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church. So yeah, the Messiah did it so that he could present it to himself glorious. So when we want to glorify somebody and present them a certain way, then we have to go about it. We have to go about it a certain way. We can't go about it our way. This me, G. This just how I am. You know I'm gonna speak the truth. This me. Well, that's not getting through, and that didn't cleanse. That didn't help the person. In Isaiah 1, it says, come, let us reason together. I should have went into it, but it says, come, let us reason together. So it might be times when you might have to reason with the person, show them the differences between what they're seeing, what you see. Here's the scriptures, so on and so forth. You have to go into the scriptures with that. You have to be the current type of person to help them see the difference between what's going on and what they're doing, all right, and how they feel. Christ did it to present them to him. So if you got a friend, a brother or sister, you got to, saying, you got to take this type of disposition where the scriptures say, oh, let me present my friend. All right. So it says, not having spot, wrinkle, or any such. Don't you care about your people? Yeah, don't you care about your people? You don't want them to have no type of spot, no type of wrinkle, or anything, but that it should be holy without blemish. You don't want them to be blemished, right? So what do? You have to have that type of conversation. You got to have that type of disposition to where you're trying to get through, not where they built up a wall and you're on the other side, or a door and you're on the outside and they're on the inside. You can't get through to them. No. You're not supposed to be like that. Workmen, we don't work like that. Here it is. It says, so are men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. So what about the brothers? What about the sisters? Sisters, you love, Yeah, check this out. I'm going to read it through and then explain it, right? For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourish it and cherish it. Okay? So, give you an example. This might not be the best coconut water. This right here, this is water, started off with lime in it. I be drinking water all day. I'm gonna drink soda pop, all sugary drinks, stuff like that. Trash. I don't even drink that stuff. I don't put that stuff in. And if I do, I take a sip, but then that's it. I don't drink. I don't do that, right? So I'm saying that, okay, because I'm trying to nourish my body, right? I eat a pretty good diet. I don't want to get into that, but I try to nourish it because I'm saying I cherish it. I'm trying to make it live with me, right? Even as the Lord the church. So like Christ did the church. For we are his members, we are the members of his body and of his flesh. So he's really feel like this about us, right? Like, and of his bones. Like, he take it so personal. Christ took it so personal. He took it so personal, like you him. So he care about you like he care about himself. And that's what he poured into you. And that's why he talked to you a certain type of way, right? A way that wouldn't be unacceptable to you. You couldn't disagree with him. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't mistreat you. He wouldn't talk to you no type of way. Then it says, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. So they can help each other, right? This is a great mystery. He says, I speak concerning Christ and the church. So all of this, even though he spit game and he gave information on what he's talking about the relationship that Christ dealt with Israel. Washing, cleanse them, how he cared. But he uses similitude and the analogy on a man with his woman and a woman with her man. But he's really talking about how Christ was with the church, how he was with Israel, how he really deeply felt about Israel, as if it was him. Right. In his mind, he cared for them. and they killed him. They killed him. It doesn't matter how deep his love was for him, they hated him even more. Envy, jealousy, covetousness. They hated him. They didn't like him. He had a really hard task to walk. He still did it. He still cared for him. And that's why he's the king. Nobody couldn't do that, man. All we doing is trying. We're trying. And we're learning along the way. And along the way, we actually need one another. We need to be strengthened by one another. So that we can be successful today and live tomorrow to fight another fight. Because the evil is sufficient thereof. Every day has an amount that either we can fight it or we're gonna need help. So that's it. Any questions? Y'all are quiet crew. Everybody understand? Any questions? Anything to add? Do we understand? Did y'all all go to sleep? Y'all got the phone laying next to y'all listening to the scriptures. y'all went to sleep over hearing the scriptures. All right. Jazz say she listening. Okay, Jazz. Jazz the only one everybody sleep. What's up, y'all? Bun listening too. All right, Bun. All praises. Aria, what's up, Bob? Okay. All right. We'll close it out with Matthew 26. All right. Matthew 26 and 6, it says, Now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. When Christ understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble you the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye are the poor always with you, but me you have not always. When that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her. So all praises unto the Most High for giving the sister the spirit to come forth and give Christ some comfort for his burial and bring forth the beautiful example of a broken and contrite heart. So we're going to end the study, the lesson, the class with the Most High prayer, where Christ said, "Pray this," in Matthew chapter 6 and 9. So it says, after this manner, therefore pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debt to us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory forever. In Christ's name we pray, amen. All right. All right, so that's it. Israelite Saints of the Most High. Thank you for coming and sitting in. Praises to the Most High. Right? So you all have a blessed evening. Good night. Turn that big light off too.
Turn it off.
Mm-hmm. Turn the bar on. Thank you, Chaz. All right, y'all. I guess that's it for me. Y'all, good night. Have a blessed evening.